attacks us with nuclear weapons, danger will come not just from blast, but also from fallout. You need to know about fallout, what it is, how to detect it, and what to do to protect yourself against it. Everybody needs to know. Watch and listen. One day, these facts may save your life.
Hello fellow Wastelanders, and welcome to A Holotape Podcast episode number 1, a show made by and for Fallout fans. I'm your host and overseer Michael Carnell, and I'm joined by 4 other amazing speakers. So guys, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Ash, and I handle the video segment of this podcast.
Hi guys, I'm Booker. I run the Facebook page, the Twitter, and things like that, so you'll see me updating regularly on the social network side of the podcast.
Hi guys, my name's Laura. I do everything art related, so if we need t-shirt designs, anything to go up onto the banners for the website, etc. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jack, and I manage the YouTube side of the podcast. I'm the one who will be uploading and editing the descriptions for the channel. I also manage the Twitch.
Cool. So, over this series, we'll be discussing Fallout news, as well as universe lore, mysteries, theories, Easter eggs, characters, music, locations, and more.
I think one thing that we should definitely put into the podcast right now is, just as a disclaimer, we don't work for Bethesda. We don't. They're not paying us in any way. We're not making any money from this right now. We're not. No. We're not trying to boost up Fallout in any other way other than we genuinely endorse this as ourselves. We love Fallout. We want to talk about Fallout. It's not in any way endorsed by Bethesda. We're not being paid. We're completely separate to the company itself.
Mm. And I think as well, this is mostly due to the fact that Game has launched their Fallout 4 club. None of us would know each other without that, so we have to give a huge thumbs up to Game for putting that together, because it's brought a huge amount of Fallout fans together to speak and collaborate on projects. So thank you, Game.
Right, I've actually noticed on the page it's I've noticed that it's not just us, we've done the podcast, right, but so many other people have met up, and, I've already seen people doing meetups for, cosplay and stuff from the group.
Yeah.
So many people are getting together from that group. It's not just us, and it's great how much support we've had already. I mean, we've been up for about a week. We've got about nearly 300 likes, but we got most of those likes within the first day. I think we obviously needed the content to come out, and, I think it's just amazing how that community backed us right off the bat. They really got behind us straight away, and they wanted us to make this. So,
everyone seemed pretty excited, and they really liked the idea. There's a lot of people who really, want to be involved in different ways, which I think is amazing. And hopefully we'll be able to get everyone involved in some way. So hopefully we'll be having guest speakers, and just would like to always hear everyone's stories with Fallout. So things that maybe ways Fallout has inspired you, ways that Fallout. Just maybe even just funny stories that has happened while you've been playing Fallout, or maybe just how you play Fallout, why you play Fallout, just anything really that's important to you.
Absolutely.
As to why you love Fallout, because we love Fallout, and that's what to speak about.
Yeah. One thing I think this is really a community project. As much as we were lucky in the sense that we were kind of the first 5 that kind of got smashed together into this podcast. And I think we're just kind of lucky in that sense, but there's no reason why other people can't get involved. This is a community thing. We want other people to give us suggestions. We want people to try and get involved as much as they can. We need people behind the scenes as well, writers, kind of theorists, people to come up with ideas for the show. It's not just people who are actually going to be on the show, but then again, we're still going to have guest speakers and stuff. So if you're listening to this, there's no reason why you can't be involved. If you just want to drop us a message or anything on Twitter or Facebook. Facebook's the easiest one to get a hold of us, I think. Then obviously there's our email as well, which is on the Facebook page. So, that's kind of what I monitor as much as I can. So, drop us a message, and there's no reason why you can't get involved if you want to.
So, as I said, if you have any theories or even, some cool Easter eggs or anything that you wish to share, feel free to give us a message, and we might even include it at the end of the podcast, where we'll try and get comments from the fans. And, I think I want it, the main thing I wanted it when I sort of came up with the idea is that I just wanted it to really be a community product. I didn't want it to be just, I like Fallout, I'm going to talk about Fallout. I wanted it to be for everyone who likes Fallout to really get involved and, that's why I wanted to, like, I just posted it and just to see what the response would be, and it was just overwhelmingly crazy. I didn't expect it to happen so quickly.
Right.
So
that post is still going now, isn't it? People are still commenting on it. People are still wanting to get involved, which is great.
So yeah, I mean, it's just great that like there's so much not demand for it, but just like it's just a great response, and I didn't think I would be a part of something like this, and like I just feel quite honoured, I guess, to be like leading this project. So I think it's amazing.
I think as well that we want this podcast to kind of keep the hype going up until the release day, and obviously beyond that as well. So as soon as people start actually playing the game, it'd be nice to hear what kind of characters you make. You know, what do you do in the game? What have you discovered? That kind of stuff. So, you know, I always like to hear how people play the game, if they play in a certain way, or you know. But yeah, if anyone wants to let us know what they do and what, you know, brought them into the community in the first place, then that'd be cool to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, I think a good way to kick the podcast off would be to talk about our own personal character builds and how we like to play the game.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, if we sort of went around and we just explained how we like to play Fallout, like, obviously some people have more than one way they like to play them, some people have more than one character, but if we go around and talk about our own personal preferences, I think great. So I think maybe we should start with the Overseer. I think each should chime in with his part of it.
Yeah, sure, definitely, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I tend to normally, in most RPGs, if I have the option to, I always try and go a stealthy route. So I'm either like a thief or an assassin. So I always try and, like, if there's money involved, I'll do it, sort of thing. And I'll always have charisma up as well, because it's always nice to bribe people or try and get more money out of people or get like good deals and stuff. So I always like trying to get that. I find that stuff really rewarding. So I always try and like level up my charisma. So the first things I normally level up are my lockpicking, my charisma, and my guns. Just because I like obviously being able to use guns. As guns are extremely helpful in the Fallout games. So those are like the main three that I really do, and then I also look at sneak as well, obviously, and so yeah, that's mainly my build. It's mainly just like a thief assassin kind of character who he doesn't like. I normally try and not stick to one like faction or whatever. I like to sort of go behind factions' backs and maybe like betray them and that sort of thing. Like I just try like to annihilate everyone by the end. Just to see what. This
took us to turn, Michael. I think we're starting to see a different side of you, Overseer.
I just like to break the game in any way possible, just to sort of push it as to how far it can go. Like if I kill this guy, will it change the game, sort of thing? So I always like in that. But I always try to start off like good. Almost, and just sort of slowly make my way up, and then when I come to the end of the game, I just like to just annihilate everyone just to see what happens.
Fair enough. I mean, that's one way to end the game.
You're a bit crazy, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about being in this vault anymore.
No.
I see why Vault-Tec hired you.
Yeah. So yeah, my character, I always go again. I like to stay fairly sneaky, but I do like the combat in Fallout, so I will never stray away from a fight, but I very much focus on intelligence, charisma, and science, because and barter. See, the big thing for me is the speech options in the game. I love accessing everything, so I'm more than happy for the fighting part of it to be absolutely terrifying and difficult and just really intense, which I feel the game should be anyway, as a post-apocalyptic survival. And I think I like it to be like that, and then be able to use all of these speech options to get all of the little, the little nitbits, all the little perks, all the bits of extra treasure, like when you say, oh, is there anything else you could give me? And they give you extra caps or extra ammo and things like that. Like, I like to get that extra stuff and then have the combat more challenging. I always build up the science. And I mean, I actually, I'm not majors because we're not in England, not in America, but, like, I'm very sciencey myself. I did science A level, I did science GCSEs, I went through science, I did biology and chemistry, so for me, the science side of it's really cool, even though it only really refers to the hacking and such. But, no, I like being able to access everything, which is my main thing in the game. So, Right.
Right, well, so my character build is probably the most diverse out of everyone here's, because I don't really give a fuck about whatever I'm doing. My character is all about the caps. If there's money involved, I'd do it. If there's something I want, I'll get it. If I have to kill someone, I'll kill them. Especially the NCR. I'm not a fan of the NCR at all. I always kill the NCR. I don't even like Caesar's Legion. I kill them both. And I
take over Vegas to yourself.
I'm more of a follower of the Apocalypse kind of guy, actually.
Really?
I've been signing with them recently. They've been alright. I like Arcade. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's my main follower. I've also got Jericho. I know he's in Fallout 3, but I have found a mod to bring him to Fallout New Vegas with me.
Jericho is the most cynical bastard.
Well, he's like my main in my Fallout 3 series I'm doing. He's my main kind of follower. He's the only one I keep with me. So I thought if I'm gonna do Fallout New Vegas, I want Jericho with me. So me and Jericho just kill everyone we see, as long as it gives us caps. But I still stay true to the story and the quests. I don't just go around and just kill for fun. What do I do? I do the quests. But if I need to get into a place for a quest and they won't let me in, I'll kill them to get there. So that's my kind of character. High in strength, but also high in intelligence, because again, I like to also access all the options. I want all the ammo, all the caps. So yeah, that's my character.
Nice.
I think my character, I can never play a Fallout game as a bad person. I've tried, but
I think it's physically impossible for you to be a bad person.
I used to go good.
No,
I've just kind of given up.
You guys will notice throughout this podcast, right, that Laura's like, okay, she seems innocent, and she seems like she's going to be the kind of person that's not innocent, but she secretly is. Like, she almost wants to be that quiet girl that isn't innocent, but she is. Like, she tries too hard not to be innocent. And she'll post some things that actually really surprise me that she posted them. But most times, she'll say something mean, and then she'll immediately be like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to upset you. I'm sorry.
I apologize to everyone.
This is great. No, whoa.
But no, I can't play any of the Fallout games as a bad person. So, like blowing up Megaton, I've never done that. I've only done it once and then gone back to a previous save. Right,
that's exactly what I did.
I wanted to see what it looked like.
You can get 10 penny anyway afterwards, can't you? So
yeah. But no, my character's kind of a reflection of me in real life. She's quite geeky, so she's got high science skills, high kind of lockpick skills, because she likes to be quite sneaky as well. Pretty much the only two weapons that I ever use are the Gauss rifle, and I think that's from one of the DLCs. I can't remember.
Yeah, Operation Anchorage.
That's the one, yeah. So I use that one because it's amazing. And the sniper rifles, they're both, aim down the sights type, sniper-y type guns. So she's just very,
sneaky,
kind of geeky.
Wait, you're sneaky with a Gauss rifle?
Yeah, you can be
really allowed. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Have you guys ever used the Gauss rifle with the toggle god mode? No. It fires so fast. You know how it has to reload after every shot?
Yeah.
In god mode, it doesn't need to reload, and so it's just like bang, 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 and you can just like lay waste to anything. It's so cool.
I think with Megaton, I actually I did blow it up. I thought, I want a really nice apartment. I blew it up, and then I really regretted it. But I didn't want to get back in my saves, so I killed everyone in Tenpenny Tower as well. Yeah. And now I am without a home. I've got no Megaton home and no.
So wait, did you kill
Tenpenny home?
Did you kill what's his name from the robot butler from Tenpenny?
No, because I couldn't get into the room. But
okay.
I blew it up and I was like, I'm a really bad person, so I turned and faced Tenpenny and I shot him square in the face with his own sniper rifle. And then I turned and shot Mr. Burke. And then I just went on a mass rampage and even killed the resident.
I hated Burke right off the bat. I did not like him. But
Mr. Burke was alright, but Tenpenny Tower, his voice was one of the most annoying voices I've ever heard, and I just really wanted to pick him up and throw him over the edge of that balcony. So I killed him, and then I did that. And I watched him splat on the floor. And that was great.
I don't think I've ever used any of the vanilla player homes because I've always had mods, because if you look on the Nexus website, you can get some really cool player homes.
Oh god,
Hey guys. How about we let Ash say about his character?
Wait.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So Ashley, bringing it around to Bucko.
So basically my character, now that I think about it, I think my character sort of acts a bit like Mad Max does, really. I'll go into an area and I'll pretty much like clear all of the side content that is in that area, help as many people as I can, and then just leave there and probably never show my face there again. And as for like the way I go about combat and stuff, I will carry weapons around with me, but a lot of the time I will try to avoid the combat and try and sort of talk my way out of situations and everything. At the moment on New Vegas, I'm carrying around a shotgun that has no ammo, which I didn't intentionally do that, but that is also a very Mad Max thing. So I've realised recently I tend to play my character very Mad Max.
Right.
I started playing Fallout before I watched the Mad Max movies, but this is how I've always done it. And more recently I've started sort of making that comparison. So, it makes sense. Okay. The Fallout games were kind of like inspired by those movies, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It makes sense.
That's where the dog meat next to the player came from,
wasn't it?
Because of Mad Max. Which I always thought it was hilarious because it kind of looked like, to me it kind of looked like, the whole, the bit where dog meat is next to the player walking down the highway.
Yeah.
Right, in Mad Max it's got the same picture, right?
Yeah,
but
it's the cover for
dog meat is like dog meat's like a German Shepherd, right, almost. He's more of a collie, right? A border collie, but basically he's a bigger dog, right? And then you go back to Mad Max, and he's just got this tiny little thing. And it looked to me, after playing Fallout and seeing that, the Mad Max thing looks like a really bad Comic-Con cosplay of the Fallout one. Like when someone just gets their dog and they're like, oh yeah, this'll do. Like this tiny little terrier, like.
Do you guys know, by the way, about Mel in Fallout 2 and 3? Speaking of Mad Max.
Yeah, I did hear about it. I think
I've heard about that.
Yeah, because obviously Mel Gibson was the guy who played Mad Max, and in 2, he protected dog meat, so if you attacked him, he would come and get you. And then in Fallout 3, he tries to, hold you up and take your money, but he's threatening you with an unloaded shotgun. So there's a couple of nice little references that they threw in there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I've actually told you guys before, but I'm about to blow everyone in the podcast mind. I've never seen Mad Max or anything like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Now I want to.
And just watch it. Go on.
All right, I'll see you later, guys. So take care. Have a nice podcast.
Guy.
Bye. Die? Fucking hell!
I said you guy.
Oh, okay. I thought you told me to die. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. That wouldn't
do that as well. Don't watch Mad Max, so just fucking turn over now.
Just drop dead.
Alright, we're just going to take a short break now. Up next, we'll be talking E3 and our thoughts on Bethesda's big conference. So stay tuned.
2 of the Holotape Podcast. That was Alan Gray with Swing Doors. So guys, E3.
Before you start, I want to know, I mean, if people are, listening to this, I want to know in the comments how many of you actually stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it.
Can I comment and say I did, because I did.
I was actually on holiday at the time and stayed up till 2 to watch it on my iPad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dedication.
Yeah.
I forced my fiance to stay up with me, so I had someone to be proud of when I saw it announced. So I wasn't just going to sit there by myself and be like, woo. I actually had someone to look at and kind of cry to.
Yeah, I had my boyfriend stay up and watch it with me, and I was really bad with flu at the time. And as soon as it came up on the screen when Todd Howard started showing the concept art, I just burst into tears.
I almost did.
That moment of just, learning about something and seeing how much work has actually gone into something that you've waited so long for.
Yeah, it's been so long, and as soon as I saw it, I was just like, you know what? I don't need any other game this year, really, at all. Like, I've just gone back to playing Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. That's plenty of gameplay to take me up until Fallout 4, so fuck The Witcher 3. I don't even need to play that. I haven't touched that game since I started playing Fallout 3 anymore.
Right.
So, goodbye, life. Hello, Fallout.
Right,
Fallout is life.
I think
have
maybe
booked
we should
2 weeks off of Fallout release.
Right, just so that people will know, because obviously not everyone's going to understand what E3 is. Not everyone's going to know. So the people who do know, obviously, we're sorry. But E3 is basically the 3 E's. It's the Electronics Entertainment Expo.
Yes.
And it takes place once a year, usually, well, actually only in America, which is
in Los Angeles, I believe.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
In the Dolby,
it's
in the Dolby Theatre.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It took place in Florida one year, I think.
So this year, for the first time ever, Bethesda not only did an expo, but they did their whole own expo, and they did it before anyone else.
Yeah,
they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it.
It was amazing. Yeah. They absolutely smashed the expo, in my opinion.
I don't know. It's a very close one to me. It's very close to me for Bethesda and Xbox. I'd say Bethesda purely because of Fallout 4 and Dishonored 2, but Xbox did well.
But Doom looks crazy cool too.
Doom looks
amazing.
Yeah. Let's try. We can talk about Doom another time. Let's try and keep this Fallout oriented today.
Yeah.
I know we all love Doom, but let's. So I mean, one thing. Going back to what Ash was saying, actually, before I forget. Ash was saying about how he likes to talk out of his situations. Yes. And I really hope that's something they do with the game now, because with all the other Fallout games, you've all noticed that when you come across an enemy, instant gunfight, let's go.
Yeah.
I'd like maybe raiders to be a bit more sneaky, like maybe have the option, it might not be in the game, but maybe have the option that a raider could come up and put a gun up to your head or something and start, or try and actually mug you, so you actually have the chance to talk to them and try and talk your way out, or,
Have you guys played I Am Alive?
Yes.
I know of.
Maybe something like that, where you can actually trick them into thinking you're actually more dangerous than you actually are, and not every confrontation ends violently. You can talk with
very, very underrated game.
Yeah,
right.
It's a really underrated game.
And that's
I
what
really
I hope
wish
they do with Fallout.
They need to make a number 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm rambling off, but they need to make a number 2 for I Am Alive.
Yeah.
They left it on such a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Such a cliffhanger.
And I thought that sort of was quite cool. Not every confrontation with there's not really raiders in I'm Alive, but there's just people who are looking for resources and who have formed clans and stuff. And I just thought it was quite interesting how they went the route of not it's sort of relying on your instincts as opposed to just shoot that person just because they have a gun.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I mean.
One of them.
As much as Fallout's a great game, it's very here's a fight. It's not there's not much.
Yeah.
I think the world does a lot for Fallout.
What would be really cool as a concept would be that, almost not a fake surrender like in Hitman, but something similar. You could, say you saw people who were hostile, but you could, hold your gun in the air so they wouldn't attack you as you approach them, so you could try and defuse the situation. That would be quite a cool concept.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And, maybe it could be sort of...
Are we playing DayZ now, are we?
No, but I mean, it'd be a cool concept to try.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. They have to pull it off really well, though. Maybe the higher... maybe the higher speech or the higher...
Yeah.
charisma you have, the better chance you have of getting away with it.
And maybe even if your speech was really high, there's still a chance that they would still shoot you, which is cool. You could actually try and maybe not surrender, but just try and maybe somehow talk your way out of it or trick them out of it.
One big problem I had with the Fallout series is that when you upgrade your lockpick to 100, you still have that big chance of failing. If you're level 100, if you're the best expert at lockpicking, you should be able to do it each time, no fail.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're level 100 lockpick,
I know what you mean.
You should be able to get, your level 100 lockpick.
You were talking to me about this the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, because it's like
you have to be level 100 just to get the chance to try.
Yeah, because it's like you're literally going to level 100 just to be able to even put your pick lock inside of a very hard lock.
Yeah,
so it's like you should at least be able to get the chance to do it. So even if you're 25 lockpick, you should get the chance to do it very hard, but it'd be really difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. Might be
I think they did. Didn't they do that in Oblivion or?
Yeah,
I think they did it in Oblivion.
Yeah, in Skyrim and Oblivion. Yeah, the lockpick is
You can do it.
Well, no, not in. Actually, it might have been in Skyrim. But no, it was in Skyrim, right?
It was Oblivion.
And that is exactly how they did it. The higher your lockpick was, the easier it was to.
Which is how it should work.
It was still It was still like a tiny little percentage of the lock that worked. But it was exactly the same all the way through. But I believe it made your lockpick stronger, so you could make more wrong attempts before it broke.
I definitely think that they should implement that in the Fallout series because
I think they will. Honestly, I think they will after this. After doing it with Skyrim, I think they will.
So I think they're going to add a lot of features not features like directly from Skyrim, but takes on their ideas.
Leading me on to my next point. Did everyone watch the expo? Right, everyone watched the thing. Did you guys pay attention to when he was putting his ability points in?
Yes.
If you paused it on agility, it says how many action points are drained while sprinting.
Yeah.
Now, how excited is everyone to finally be able to sprint in the wasteland?
For a limited period of time, of course, but still.
I like it, but I want to see how they implement it. I know it's going to be on like action points and stuff, but
I believe that's just going to be like the stamina in Skyrim, right? Like I believe it will work very well because they know what they're doing with Skyrim. It works amazing with Skyrim, in my opinion.
But I'm guessing it's like if you sprint and use VATS, you'd like have less to use in VATS if you don't give it a chance to recharge.
I believe that also with VATS, how it's now it's slow-mo, right? It's not they don't pause it anymore. And I believe that if you're moving when you enter VATS, because it's slow-mo, you'll continue moving. Yeah. So I think maybe when you're moving, you'll have a lower percentage to hit.
That'd be definitely,
with when in VATS, whereas if you actually stopped and then went into VATS, you'd have a higher.
Did you guys also notice in that sort of montage thing that they showed at the end? There's like a 2 or 2 second clip where it pretty much confirms that there's also you can also melee with actual guns as opposed to having to get a melee weapon.
Right.
So there's actually a clip where you see your Vault Dweller and he has a pistol and he actually whacks
on the head off
in the face
of the building.
There's one thing that excites me about a lot, and that's okay. Now you guys know that I'm a massive pirate head. I love pirates.
Pirate goals.
Now, I'm obsessed with pirates, and I mean Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's just not talk about it. That was hands down one of the best games ever made. It was crazy good. Obviously, that's up
my pirates,
but now obviously everyone knows that Boston has a rich pirate history, so there's probably going to be some piracy in there. Now that's something I'm excited for, but that's not the point I'm making. With the point that you're making about the melee, now in the Revolution, which is around the same, like a little while after the pirates, right? It was Boston again was a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
And Boston being a huge part of that, in the Revolution, they used muskets a lot with bayonets. Now, I'm pretty excited. I don't know how much you guys use the Lincoln Repeater, but imagine a weapon similar to the Lincoln Repeater with a fucking knife on the end.
They have confirmed bayonets.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, you don't even know how cool that is. I'm going to be using it.
I'm pretty sure when they showed all the attachments, they do go past bayonet.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they did. Also, while we're here, when we're talking about this, do you think Fallout's becoming more of an FPS than it is an RPG?
No.
Do you reckon they're adding I think it is. I don't think that's a bad thing. As long as they keep the RPG elements in it, I'm fine with it.
I don't think so. All the time, it was actually originally, if you ever watched the making of Fallout 3, they were aiming to make it Call of Duty with an open world element.
Oh, yeah.
So it was always implemented to be more of an FPS. But I think they've definitely made it. I definitely see what you mean. Like in that montage part, when it was moving around, the combat was so much more fluid in the crosshairs instead of the weird little Pip-Boy like dot in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's because it's what we used to it. We used to it being kind of clunky.
I use Project Nevada, which adds crosshairs anyway. So, I'm fairly used to that already.
I think it's because Fallout 3 and New Vegas, although they were really, really good games, they were clunky as hell. Right. They were really clunky. So I think it's because in Fallout 3, Fallout 4, from what we've seen so far, it's quite polished.
I think it adds to the charm of Fallout 4 as clunky.
Right, guys. Mm-hmm. Right, before we go too far away from talking about it being less of an RPG, I just want to say something that does worry me is the new speech. If you noticed, everything is only 4 speech options.
It's more BioWare based.
So I'm wondering if when you're upgrading your speech and everything, how are they going to implement that if there's still only 4 options?
Okay, well, how about as you upgrade your speech, maybe, or in bigger ones, you don't just have X, Y, A, B, but you also have up, down, left, right on the D-pad.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they have maybe they have the sentences, but they also maybe have the D-pad as an emotion, so they maybe say it angry or say it threatening or good.
That
would be pretty cool. So you could say get out of here. You could say get out of here in a nice way. You could say get out of here in a really threatening way. So fuck off, or quickly get out of here before you get seen.
Now here's a big thing that links to
I could see that work.
Is something a lot of people are very, very crisscrossed about. They're very mixed emotions, shall we say, about voiced characters.
I like it. They've got 2 really outstanding voiced characters.
Well, you say that. We haven't heard the female. Well, a little.
Yeah, we have.
She's
in Knights of the Old Republic. She was really...
No, I know. No, I know. But, we haven't heard her in Fallout much, other than her saying, stop hogging the mirror and stuff. Yeah. Now, Laura, obviously, is going to be using the female character, I assume. So, Laura, are you there?
I'm still here, don't worry. Oh. Bloody mute button, honestly.
Have you been talking this whole time?
I have occasionally, yeah.
Laura.
But no, I think the fact that the characters have got 13,000 lines of dialogue each,
right?
It does add a bit of a more personal. Obviously, for some people who like to play RPGs, they want to project their own idea of what that character is onto who they're playing. Yeah, but I think it might still make it a bit more interesting to see the characters and how they react to people's dialogue options.
The fact that they... I was just saying, it's like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You've got a voice character for all 3 of them, and that's still it's considered one of the best RPG franchises of all time. Through any single game, it's considered. And that's got a voice character, and that worked perfectly. I know it's BioWare, so that's kind of their forte. Yeah. But with Bethesda, I reckon they know what they're doing. It's Bethesda. They've never made really a bad game apart from Brink, which we won't speak about.
Yeah, let's ignore that one.
Anyway, off Brink. Anyway, back to Fallout 4.
And with the voice characters, how Laura was just saying about the 13,000 lines. Yeah. That kind of leads to the point that I was worried when they originally announced the voice characters. I loved the idea and I loved the voice acting. Now, what worried me was that by having voice characters, it kind of limits the amount of speech that you can have in game. Like when it's text, you can keep adding more and more and more. Yeah. Right? Now, when it's voice, they have to record more, and it's a harder thing to do.
Yeah.
Now, that originally worried me until they announced that there was 13,000 lines. It's not like 13,000 words. That's 13,000 whole sentences.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. That's a lot of speech, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think as well because the characters are voiced. Obviously Todd Howard said that they want to try and make Fallout 4 more story-driven, so I think that's the reason why the characters are voiced, because you can better see the interaction with the characters that are actually part of the story.
Yeah, the conversations look more like cutscenes than just the world freezing and zooming in on someone's face.
But you can still, again, walk away. I'm not sure if you guys saw the second Todd Howard interview at E3 when he was sat on that sofa with some guy. But he said that it's so dynamic, the conversations.
They haven't even seen it yet.
You can actually talk. They don't want it to happen often, but you can actually hold 2 conversations at the same time by looking at different people.
Yeah.
Which is crazy cool.
What do you guys think about the graphics?
I quite like them.
I like it.
The graphics are fine. I have no idea why people.
I think they're fun.
About
it's got a nice art style.
I think because people think it's too saturated.
I thought you said no.
I like
art
that.
style then.
Right now, for me,
the thing is, though,
people say about.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from what Laura just said. And so for
Wait,
me
what did Laura just
personally, don't worry. But for me personally, I love the art style. Now that's what people need to understand is it's an art style.
Yeah.
A game doesn't have to be ultra realistic like Call of Duty just to actually be good.
Call of Duty's a really bad example.
Now let's go back to Borderlands, right? Now, Borderlands, if you go by, it's not realistic, it's the ugliest game in the world. It's such a terribly coloured game.
Yeah.
But if you take it as a piece of art, that cell-shading style is so retro and so unique.
Does anyone remember the first trailer for Borderlands?
Yeah, it was really realistic, wasn't it?
And how different it is compared to what it is now.
Right, exactly.
It was meant to be a proper serious RPG, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
now it's...
I like it, though. I like that
I love how it is now, yeah.
You know, you have to appreciate a game for the art. Now, Fallout, as much as it's post-apocalyptic, it always had that underlying tone of humour to it.
Yeah.
And I think without that saturated, cartoony feel, it would be too dull and boring and such a drag.
I think guarantee...
having that cartoony underlay makes the whole game so much more vibrant and fun.
I can guarantee one of the first mods will be a desaturator. I can guarantee it, because I know some people aren't going to like it, because there's been so many complaints, or not complaints, but so many raised issues. I reckon one of the first mods, even if it's not in a mod, would just be desaturating the game.
Right.
But I really like the art style it's going in.
I really think people will try and make it look like 3 had New Vegas with mods
I think it's because a lot of people are used to seeing Fallout not looking too good, because it's always been running off the Game Boy engine, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So to see it running on a different engine is what's going to be different.
Right, and I think people are expecting too much from it, to be honest. People are expecting it to be like this, because they hear next gen, they think it has to be like that whole, when they got Kevin Spacey for Advanced Warfare and they recorded his face and put him in the game. Now that was cool as fuck, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
When I saw Kevin Spacey, I lost my shit, because I didn't know he was going to be in the game, right? And I love Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, he's cool,
Now, that was cool, but just because that's where gaming is right now, it doesn't mean that a game has to be that realistic to be a good game or a good-looking game.
I think no matter what you do as well, people are always going to bitch about the graphics. I mean, people were saying that Fallout 3 was too green, and then New Vegas was too orange.
Well, it's true.
But then you have to...
But
but
Fallout,
I suppose
isn't it? It's the point of it.
It's Fallout, but it's supposed to represent where exactly these places, these games take place. So
I've got to say though, with New Vegas,
it was the Fallout, wasn't it? It was the Fallout. It was the radiation.
Oh, sorry,
yeah. It was the radiation that gave it that color. The earthy like metropolis from Fallout 3 gave it the green husk, and then the sandy desert dunes of New Vegas gave it the orangey glow. So this one, however, seems... I think one of the first things people noticed was blue skies.
Yeah.
Right?
But New Vegas had blue skies as well. There was often times where you'd see like a really nice orange and blue contrast, and there was quite a lot of colour in New Vegas. But sometimes it could be like the only colour on the palette was brown. There are
saying that though, I can't
as well. So it's... Yeah.
I don't think I could go back from using Fallout, for example. I don't think I could go back to the kind of vanilla skies that they use now. I have to use the mods now, because it just really does change the game when you're playing it.
100%. I mean, that's only because we needed to keep up with the times. It's like, Fallout is such a timeless classic. People are still playing Fallout 7 years on, whereas Oblivion, you play Oblivion for nostalgia, right? You play it and you see the horrible graphics, and it's like, remember when this first came out? Remember when we first played this? You play it because it's fun to play and have those memories. Whereas Fallout 3 came out 1 year after Oblivion, right? 1 year, and it's still considered not a retro game. You don't play it for nostalgia. You play it because it's a good game.
Yeah, I always think of Oblivion as really old.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's only a year older than Fallout 3, but Fallout 3 is still considered it's timeless because there's always mods for it, and it needs to keep up with and where it's timeless and people are still playing it like it's a new game now. People are releasing mods for it to make it look better because it needs to keep up and keep competing with games from nowadays, which is why Fallout New Vegas had so many visual mods, and why Fallout New Vegas now, with all the mods, as opposed to when it first was released, it looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now, the same's going to happen for Fallout 4, I guarantee. It's going to come out. It's going to be around for a good few years before they even start thinking about... Well, they probably already are thinking about the next one. And they and it's going to be around for a few years at least, so people are going to release mods to make it look nicer and keep it up with the times anyway. So I'm glad they didn't go ultra-realistic, because if they did, those visual mods go down the drain.
So you know Vault Boy?
Yeah.
Right.
He's always got his thumb up, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's quite a well-known myth, but it's everyone is saying that his thumbs up is to check whether or not he's about to die. Because when a nuclear warning, the safety instructions are stick your arm out towards the horizon at an arm's length. If your thumb covers the explosion, you won't die. You won't die.
Well, no, it's not that you won't die, it's that
you're clear of the blast radius or something.
You're out of the fallout zone.
Yeah, you're at a safe distance from the explosion. If your thumb does not cover it, you've got to run.
That actually goes back to the 50s with the Cold War and things like... Well, not the 50s, the Cold War, but you know what I mean? It goes back to Cold War and stuff like that. It was told to the general public to make them feel safe. It's actually all bullshit. There's
your thumb's not going to save you,
There's no safe distance from a nuclear blast.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's gonna decimate you if your thumb's covering it, you're not gonna fucking survive.
In all honesty, if there was a nuclear blast, say in, I don't know, say it was in Boston, so the very east coast, right? We would feel it in England.
Yeah, definitely,
we wouldn't feel it like, oh my god, like massive nuclear, but there would be radiation coming over the ocean.
Pretty much if you can see it, you would
be carrying it.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
But so back to the myth though. Everyone is saying that Vault Boy is indeed sticking his thumb out to indeed cut, because he's got his eye closed, so he's using his other eye to
that is what he was doing. It's not everyone saying that. That is actually what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh
and
yeah,
I think
definitely.
That's a really cool thing, but obviously I find it hilarious. I think, do you know, honestly, I was thinking about this the other day, and I think that it's actually kind of an underlying tone, like a hint, because now he was doing that, right, to cover up the mushroom cloud, and that was what people were told to do. But it turns out it was all bullshit. Yeah. Now, people were told to go into the vault because it would keep them safe. Yeah. But that was all bullshit. Yeah. So I think it's kind of like a metaphor for that.
Yeah. You know? Sort of showcases the sort of dark humour.
Do you know what, guys? You know that guy in the fedora hat, the Vault-Tec guy who goes to the house at the beginning of Fallout 4?
Yeah.
I think he's an absolute bastard, because when you think of what Vault-Tec does, that guy knows that this family have like a baby and everything, and he's trying to coax them into going into this vault, and we don't know what this Vault 111 does.
Although he is only a registrar for the company, you never know that he doesn't.
Be the higher ups that know about it.
Yeah, he might know.
Yeah, but you would think
registered in the vault himself, you know.
If you're actually working for a company, you know, you might have some idea of what these experiments are and what's going on behind closed doors.
Though.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, for instance, in Marvel, like, S.H.I.E.L.'s whole, like, Hydra thing, not everyone knew about that conspiracy, did they?
Actually, I would like to speak about, you know, which vault do you think is the creepiest?
Oh,
you know,
for the idea? I think...
in terms of, like, the social experiments that they had.
I can't remember which one it is, but the one where it was just one guy surrounded by puppets.
Yes, Puppet Man.
Puppet
Man is my favourite vault.
But that was only in the comic, though, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but
there's
references to. Yeah, there's also references to him in.
Definitely,
and things like that.
Well.
So I mean, there's a woman in up towards where the bombers are in Fallout New Vegas. She's in a shack up towards there, and she like mutters to herself and stuff like that. And you can hear her at times talking about like some guy with a puppet and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, there's references to her all over New Vegas and Fallout 3. So I mean, to the Puppet Man. And
I've got one word for you guys: cryogenesis. Cryo-freezing.
In the new one.
Yeah.
You think
it's the only way I can think of how someone could survive.
Right.
Do you think that is it?
Well, let's put it this way, right? So now Vault 112 and Vault 111 were built very close together. Now, well, they weren't obviously physically close together. One was in Washington D.C., one was in Boston.
Yeah,
they were finished around the same time, which means they had very similar technology. Yeah. In Vault 112, they had the whole mysterious what was it called? Tranquility Lane. Yeah. Now, I believe, and that was the like a virtual reality. I believe that's what's happening in Vault 111. because they were built very close together. So I'm guessing they were cryo-frozen and put into a virtual reality pod.
Yeah.
And that kept them alive for so long. And I think that when he comes out of that pod, everything's gone to shit without him knowing because he was in the virtual reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he wakes up, everyone's gone, everyone's dead. And now what I'm interested to see though, right, is you can be either the dad or the mum, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What happens to the kid?
You also get to pick the kid's name, don't you?
Yeah, because
right.
No.
If you
at the start, the kid's name and the kid's looks are based on what the mum and the dad look like. So they've obviously you can name the kid. They said that you can name the kid, but his face and that, he's generated. So
now
that's a big part.
I'm wondering, can you maybe pick him as your character?
I don't think so.
I don't think you'll pick him as a character.
I think it might be a reversal of Fallout 3 where you're looking for your dad. This time you're looking for your son.
Maybe.
I don't know about looking for your son, but
now
I think maybe it's some people have actually survived. You think you're the only person left.
Right.
But maybe your son's grown up or something. He's escaped years ago, and he's grown up a bit, and you'll find him later on.
Right, now Todd Howard said you emerge as the sole survivor.
Yeah.
Right, like he says events transpire and you emerge as the sole survivor. Now, like you say, your son might have left while you were in the pod, so you might have genuinely thought you were the only survivor. Now, we don't know, this is a speculation.
He hasn't confirmed, he said sole survivor, he didn't say everyone just died.
Right.
Necessarily, he hadn't said everyone got killed in the revolt apart from you. Some could have left.
But he says, yeah, well, he does say you're the sole survivor, which is kind of hint towards everyone dying.
So what's
does
you guys like? What's
you've not been radiated or anything as well? They could have mutated.
Right.
Because you're.
Oh, can you imagine that, like a ghoul baby running around?
Like the baby zombies on Minecraft. Oh,
I hate them. Fuck them.
Now, what were you going to say, Laura?
Fuck them to hell.
No, I was just going to ask people what part of the trailer was their favourite part and what got them the most excited.
I think for me, just because I love jetpacks, it was when oh my god,
the whole power armor thing was so cool. The way you climbed into it properly.
Yeah, that was good.
It's got the extra HUD and that in first person.
My favourite part here was probably no one even thinks of this as their favourite part, but there was a part when he was walking down some kind of, it was almost like it was a kind of burnt down forest path, and he looked to the water and he said about the volumetric lighting.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that looked amazing. That was
100%.
That was the part that went to me. Okay, this is going to be on next gen. This won't be on 360 or PS3. This is next gen.
The sun actually moves across the sky now with the time perfectly, which actually generates real life shadows based on the positioning of the sun.
There's also a dynamic weather system now as well.
Oh, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
Mind you, it did that in Skyrim as well, when the sun was moving across, it would actually cause shadows.
You know when they showed off in the first trailer, I think it was raining outside of the statue?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who paid attention to the massive fucking air blimp?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys... I think there's something to do with the Brotherhood, because if you've seen the start of Fallout Tactics, it actually explains about the Brotherhood and how they came to be. And those blimps, they actually get attacked in the beginning of Fallout Tactics, if you watch the video.
Right.
I'm not too sure about the story because I haven't played a huge amount of that game, and if I did, it was a long time ago. But as soon as I saw those blimps, I kind of thought, oh my god, these guys, they're actually looking at the lore from the past and seeing what the other games had.
I'm kind of excited to see if maybe, just maybe, as much as you can make your settlements, maybe you could get a small blimp as a mobile home.
That
could be.
I'm not a fan of that.
Pretty sweet. As an option, though, Jack, you're not a fan, but you don't have to have it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not.
And my favourite part of the showcase, though, was, as I was saying a minute ago, there's I'm a huge pirate fan. Love pirates. Now, this goes back to when you see the SS. What was it? The SS Constitution. Yeah. Now it's now got like these jet engines on it, and it's really cool and steampunk. Now, I said before I watched the video, what if there's some kind of steampunk pirate cult in that boat, like that you can be a part of, or something like like almost like Bloodborne. You know the outfit that he wears at the beginning with the pirate hat and the leather trench coat and that. I would love a steampunk version of that for Fallout. I would wear nothing else. I wouldn't care about I wouldn't even care about the armor you can build yourself. I love pirates so much. If I got a steampunk pirate outfit, I'd never change.
Only thing that kind of worries me about that though is if you in that first trailer when they show you the USS Constitution, it looks like it's docked on top of a bank. So is that some kind of currency system there, maybe, where you can like convert it, like pretty much like the NCR dollars and the Caesar's Legion? Is that something like that? Cause,
to be honest, I think it was just a pre-war bank, because if you look at some of the other footage of the game when he's actually walking through the, Boston in the city centre, some of the adverts are actually intact and you can still read them. So I just think that it's part of the background to me.
Right, but you never know. They could have, like the Mojave Express in what the hell was the town called in New Vegas?
Oh. I've just got a brainwave.
The one with the bull and the Vicky and Vance casino.
Yeah.
You know the one. Well, the Mojave Express was it was a delivery service before the war, and they took over it and made it a delivery service again. Now you never know; they could have made a pre-war bank, a new bank for caps.
Yeah.
Or what about if it is a trading post? I mean, the banks.
Maybe.
And that USS Constitution is like a Brahmin caravan, but instead it's on a massive fucking ship.
I don't think it'll move. As much as it has jet engines, I don't know if it'll move.
I think it will.
Oh, I don't know.
I think they wouldn't show those massive jet engines. They wouldn't put jet engines on that if it wouldn't move, because that's going to have to be that's going to have to be an post-apocalyptic add-on, because they didn't have obviously jet engines on the original USS Constitution.
Yeah, but you don't know that. Now I was talking to Ash about this. Do you guys know the big difference between Fallout and our universe? The whole massive reason we're so vastly different.
It's retro future, isn't it?
No. The reason it's a retro future is that then the transistor was never built, so it never spurred on the advancement of technology. So, computers never became a big thing. Even small things like dubstep never existed. So it changes the culture.
All things?
So it changes. Well, I just mean it changes the culture, doesn't it? So that music never existed. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? The music never existed in that time, which is why they're still with the other music, because they didn't have the transistor to be able to make mass music. Everything stayed on vinyls and things like that, So that's the big difference. That is why, as much as it's a tiny little computer chip, just the smallest little thing, that actually cost half a penny to make, right? It's such a small thing, but it changed the entire course of their history, leading to a nuclear war. Now, I love that. I love that it's something so tiny changed the entire history of mankind,
I've got a really random theory about the USS Constitution. I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that some of the nukes actually detonated over the sea, and that radiation storms come in from the sea and actually swamp Boston.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I think, this is just like a theory, but I think that maybe they put those kind of boosters on the USS Constitution because it's actually such a vital part of American history that they wanted to get it as far away from any of this shit that was going on as possible. And maybe when they were trying to get the ship away from anything that might be a target, it actually crashed on the dock.
Because if you look at any of the other monuments in the trailer, none of them look too damaged at all. Like the Lincoln Memorial, no, not Lincoln Memorial. Was it the fucking? I can't remember what it was.
Paul Revere statue.
The big spiky one. I can't remember what it fucking looked
like. Oh, the one that looks like the Washington Monument.
Yeah, I think it's Lincoln Memorial, I think, isn't it?
No, Lincoln Memorial.
No, that's in DC.
Sorry, Boston people. But that, it looks really intact. It's like, maybe a couple
better off
dents in it.
What we've seen
before. So it was like, and then they had the Duke, I think it was the Duke Hall as well. The one with the gold top with a bell on it.
Yeah.
I think that also looked like really well intact. So maybe there is a certain faction going around and preserving America's history, which could be
not
the
just
goals.
that. I was actually my theory as to why the place seems so it still seems destroyed, obviously, but it seems almost more radiation free. And now my theory was that the nukes obviously affected Boston, but I don't think they hit it directly. I think they hit around Boston, around the outskirts. And the radiation and the blast obviously knocked things over and destroyed things. But for the most part, I think the city is more safe than other places in the US from radiation and fallout.
Is it in Fallout 4? Is it set in Boston? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Is it set in Massachusetts?
that Massachusetts is in Boston.
I know it's in Boston.
Okay, so if you where the vault is, you can see a bridge, right?
Yeah.
Now that bridge is a very famous bridge. I cannot remember the name, but it leads to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is the institute where all of the androids are from in Fallout 4.
Commonwealth thing.
The Commonwealth, they're from the institute, which is Massachusetts.
Clip from inside, even the trailer, like they show the part where you're shooting off some of the androids, and I guess people have.
That was it.
That's probably inside that institute.
What I'm trying to get at though is I think I remember someone saying it that they've also seen a landmark that was in Connecticut, which is obviously very close to Massachusetts.
Well, they said
so that makes the game really fucking big.
Well, you say that, but Todd Howard said that they like to mess with scale quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean,
they push everything. They push everything together. It's very realistic, and things are definitely like say that Memorial is say north of where the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is. It will still be north. It will just be very crushed. Same with DC.
Oh yeah.
DC isn't that big. DC's much bigger than that, obviously. But they made it. They took all of the important landmarks and kind of smushed them together.
Oh yeah,
so that you can experience everything.
Todd Howard, they did confirm yesterday the map size. They officially confirmed it, and they said it's just a bit bigger than the Skyrim map, but take away all the mountains and everything in the map you can do something with. So it's not half the map is made up of mountains that you have to walk around.
Yeah,
that's
where those mountains are.
Those mountains, not game space.
Yeah, where those mountains would be in Fallout 4, it will now be towns or cities or
if you look, there is one mountain in the background, right, and that excites me. That excites me because the main thing for me is Boston, as much as it has its fair share of skyscrapers, right?
Yeah.
I want somewhere away from the city that you can stand up and overlook the entire wasteland, and that mountain seems like the perfect place to do it. Just go up there and look out, and you see the whole city without having to be in the city,
Yeah.
And that excites me.
Do you reckon you'll be able to go in the skyscrapers properly? Cause
I think you'll be able to climb to the top of them.
They announced with the map size that all the major settlements will not have any loading screens, so every shop you can just walk into. I don't know if they announced it outside of cities, but you can just walk through every shop without having a loading screen.
So if
I don't know if anyone else noticed this in the trailer, but when the trailer kind of pans over Diamond City or Diamond wherever it was, the stadium. The stadium. If you look to where there's in the middle, there's a bartering sort of shop, where people buy food and drinks and stuff. If you look, the characters are actually animated, interacting with their environment. So you'll see somebody opening a fridge and getting something out, and you don't see it as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
Okay, like I said to you guys before, the best bit of animation we ever got with Fallout was Joshua Graham loading those guns in on his heart. Just sat there loading, and I freaked out when I saw that. When that was in Fallout, I was like, whoa! The animation! What, he's loading guns and putting it down, a simple thing compared to other games at the time. Was amazing to see, so I completely agree. The whole interacting with environments is crazy cool.
One thing I really want, and it's something so minuscule, but it's only because I installed the mod the other day that made it.
Backpacks?
No. They're like a given now. I reckon they're going to happen. But when you set your followers to wait, they literally just fucking stand as still as anything.
Right.
They literally just stand still. I had a mod I installed a mod yesterday, which when you tell them to wait, they will walk around, go on the computers, do all that. If you can tell them to wait even outside, maybe they go off, lean against a rock, have a cigarette. Or, maybe they clean their gun or something like that, check what they've got in their inventory, maybe get their backpack out and see what they've got with them. And I think that will improve the game.
Oh, definitely.
Such a small detail, but it would make it feel so much more real.
Again, more immersion,
definitely,
if I, say me and you, Jack, right, say we were out exploring and I was like, right, dude, I need you to stay and watch the house while I go out for a run. I wouldn't come back and expect you to be stood next to the exact same fucking chair I left you.
Then my also drawback from that is they'd have to have maybe a relaxed option and a wait, because sometimes you want them to wait in a specific position, maybe to set up an ambush. So maybe have a relax option where they go and do their own thing, and then a wait option where they stay there.
They did that in New Vegas with the companion wheel, right? Like,
yeah.
It was much more diverse. I think they can make it stronger.
They made it better, but there's a
it's
mod.
It's not perfect still.
Right. Yeah, there's a mod called JIP, Command and Control. Really famous mod. It's like one of the most endorsed in the companion. Like, I think it is the most endorsed companion app on Nexus for New Vegas. And it's just literally an ad so you can precisely point where they want to go, hotkeys to tell them to wait, carry on and all that stuff, and I really hope they add some sort of thing like a better companion system in Fallout 4 than there was in the other two.
Well, I mean, they've already shown it's better. I mean, you can send your dog to fetch things for you and everything like that.
And so, also, if Lily isn't back, I will freak out like shit. Because Lily needs to be back in the fucking game.
Right. Alright, so I think maybe, guys, we should start winding this down now.
Yep.
And, obviously, we'd like to see you guys. Yeah, we'd like to see you guys next week. Obviously, we'll try and get one out again next week. We really hope you've enjoyed this experience, listening to us talk and just ramble. Obviously, it's a little bit, even though we tried to structure it, it's still a little bit unstructured at the moment. We'll get better.
I feel it's better unstructured.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll get better. You know, we'll get more focused. We do divert quite a lot, but we definitely want to hear what you think. Now, at the beginning, we did talk about our character builds.
Yeah.
Now, on YouTube, I don't know if you can do it on Mixcloud, but on YouTube, I would love for you guys to leave in the comments, just, talk about your character builds. Let us know how you like to play the game, and we will reply to as many of you as we can. And like we say, we want this to be a big community experience. So we have our Facebook, which we'll leave in the description. We have our Twitter. We also have, obviously, YouTube. If you're watching it on there, or if you're watching on Mixcloud, we'll let you know about our YouTube.
What's on YouTube?
And then we will have a spreadshirt up at some point for T-shirts. We just want them more for people to be able to have them just for fun. We don't want to make them too expensive or anything like that. We're not trying to extort money out of people. We want people to, like, I want one. I'm gonna buy it. When we get one with me on it, I'm 100% gonna buy it.
I've actually just finished yours.
Awesome. Like, I'm 100% gonna buy that. As soon as that's up, I'm buying one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's out there for you guys to get if you want one, and we will make some that aren't us on it as well, just like more podcast oriented. But if you want a shirt, we will have a we won't, but we will. All we'll say is T-shirts are coming.
Yeah.
So just keep your eyes open, and just again leave in the comments what you think and what you thought of this podcast and your character.
That's really good.
Thanks for listening. If you wish to contact us regarding theories, stories, or just a general comment about our podcast, email us at falloutpodcast@hotmail.com or find us on facebook.com/falloutpodcast101. We are the Holotape Podcast, and thank you all for listening. We hope you join us next week. To end the podcast, we will be playing Sid Phillips' classic Boogeyman. Goodbye.